Salutations from space and aloha from Earth, friends. This is Gemini Brett on Sunday, the day of the sun, July 27th, 2020. I want to talk about getting directions and the way that we can bring our own planetary power paths right here into our own homes, utilizing a really wonderful technique and kind of newer branch of the astro tree called local space astrology. It's all about directionality. And the truth is, so is tropical astrology. This is very much forgotten, but like so many ancient shamanic systems of global wisdom traditions, tropical astrology is all about the energies of the cardinal directions. And I'm talking about the science, but also certainly here in our local space, in our local environment, the astrological houses, right, which are tuned to the directions. And we can see this in a chart wheel. We can see it more when we honor that the chart's not just some map of the soul, but a map of the sky. This chart in 1981, October 28th, is the moment between my birth and my partner Anna's birth. And it's the chart that we are going to be using for our final project in a course that I'm teaching coming up here. I'll tell you more about that because we're going to anchor the energies of this chart into our home. And so I've relocated this moment between our births for El Sobrante, California, where we live. And here I am looking south towards the midheaven, and we find no planets up here. Actually, Stellarium astronomy software is not showing Chiron, who's up there, but I've got to turn around and look down below the ground to find most of the planets for this time in 1981. And so, you know, how do we deal with planets that are below ground? I mean, this is a two-story house in which we're living, so I guess I could put these planets on the lower level and then the upper level would just be empty space. No, that's not the way that we do this. What we do is we bring all of the planets either down to or up to the horizon. And we can do this for the angles as well, for the lunar nodes, for asteroids, whatever it may be. And this way, all of these points and planets, they are aligned to compass headings, right? To azimuths, to directions. And so I can take a chart like this and turn it into one like this, like a personal cosmic compass, right? And this has, long reaching energy. So these are local space lines for that moment in time from this place, all emanating according to their own directions. And they all will merge at the antipode or the antipode, the opposite side of the globe, and then come back around, right? And so that's why you'll see that here, this is a free local space map drawn up at astro.com. This Mars line, for example, is moving up towards the northeast, but it will go all the way around the globe and come back from the southwest, right? I mean, I can get very local with this. And so, maybe we're going to find friends that live here in the Venus lines or, maybe going to play at Lemoyne Park or whatever it will be. We can get very, very local with this, right? So we can align this to our home and anchor these planetary energies right here and honor them, building altars for the planets or whatnot. This is not a layout of our house. I've still got to do that. And I'll be showing how we can use free software in this course that I'm teaching for Kepler College to do all of these things. But it's really important to align the directions accurately in a home. So let's say north is this way. And how do we find that with a compass? Be careful with magnetic north. It's not true north. So I'll be speaking about, sundials and medicine wheel building and working with the midday sun and the shortest shadow of the day. If you use a compass, certainly working with what's called the magnetic declination to adjust, or if it's a digital compass like many of our phones have now, making sure you select the true directions over the magnetic directions because that's what's honored in a chart. Right, so let's say this was our place and this was north, and then we have this layout where we find the sun and the moon at the, you know, dining room table. Uranus there might be a little interesting for whoever's sitting in that chair. The entryway, walking in, looking at the Venus Neptune conjunction, that's interesting. I mean, so there's no planets here in the south, which actually might be wonderful for dreaming and resting. You know, you do see that the moon line that's heading here towards the northwest is going to go all the way around the globe and come back from the southeast. So moon on the bed is a, you know, wonderful thing. Not so sure about Uranus, right? But moon for dreams. And here's the sun in this current layout on this television, but maybe that could be a work of art. You know, and another thing I'd say is like, unless we're building a place from the ground up, which is a super cool thing to do, you know, we've got to work with what we've got, right? So, I mean, I would say, let me bring in like medicine wheel colors for these directions is something I will also certainly be teaching in this course that's coming up. Um, you know, having the bedroom in the southeast, right, where the sun is rising and then moving to reach its height, at least in the northern hemisphere, that's the way. That's a tricky thing. But, you know, in the house in which we live, that's exactly what we're working with. The bedroom is in the southeast. So maybe we need to remediate that, right? So that we can actually dream and rest. I mean, having for the northern hemisphere, a bedroom in the northwest, I think would be much more ideal because that's the place, of course, where the sun sets and it's on its way to its midnight, right? At the IC, the bottom of the heavens, the midnight sun, that's where the sun begins its climb, right? So let's say that's your situation. Well, maybe you can build some remediation for that. Like I see this moon line moving right through here in this example layout. Maybe I put a photo that I've taken or a painting of the moon, or maybe even a very soft light that waxes and wanes with the moon, something like this, you know, to just honor that this is a dream space. And we could also get really local and compress this compass into the bedroom itself. And then maybe we see that the bed wants to be on a different wall than right on this southeastern side, right? So I'm really excited to share some of these techniques and to engage in small classroom discussions too about like, hey, you know, what could we build as an altar to honor space for Venus? You know, in this example layout, well, Mars is at the illumination place, separation, probably good, you know, but what about Mars at this chair, which looks like maybe I'd want to chill out there. So how could I maybe give an altar for Mars back here in the corner so that energy doesn't have to be, you know, invoked in this chair itself, you see? And just so really intentionally bringing the planets here. And then, you know, like a wonderful thing in this case, like, let's see, what's a good example? Right. So this southwest direction here, like the descendant and the node, they head over to Hawaii. The way that we're set up in our personal kind of union chart. And so maybe Anna and I met in Hawaii. So maybe something to honor Hawaii there, right? Or if we're connecting to that space, to sit in that direction, right? I mean, if I don't know, Stonehenge is really important to me. Where does that lie in the compass? And how can I maybe do some work with that direction? How can I bring that far away place right to me? How can I do some traveling without moving? So this is, for me, one of the powerful practices of working with our personal planetary pathways, our personal cosmic compass, to do some temple building and merge the right here with the far away, like Hawaii or moon or Pluto, you know. All right, so I'm teaching a 5-week course. It starts very soon. It starts August 1st. If you're hearing this video even after that time, you can come in late. Everything will be recorded. The course is through Kepler College. KeplerCollege.org is where you can find them. You can just track down the summer courses through the events tab. I'll put a link, a direct link in the comments section below and in the description of this video. We're meeting 5 Saturdays consecutively beginning August 1st, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific. If you can't make any of them live, they of course will be recorded. And if you can't be there for the last one, where we will be sharing bits from our final projects with one another, you can submit that to me by video. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comment sections below. And yeah, if you've got time and interest, please join us for this journey into local space. It's an amazingly powerful, enchantingly, interestingly, fabulously fun, and magically powerful technique. And I look forward to sharing much more about it with you. See you in space, in local space, that is.